Listen here. The following podcast contains spoilers for Constantine. You have been warned, asshole.
Whoa, welcome back to another podcast with KFR News Radio, asshole. You've done it again and messed with the worst of the best. It's me, Glenjamin Button, along with my good old fucking co-host, even though he's also just another host, Miguel Magusto.
What's going on, asshole?
It's like we're trying to be Keanu, but it's really coming out as Nick Cage. And it's just...
What is Nick Cage?
What are you doing, asshole? That's John Malkovich. Never mind.
I think we have found the trifecta of acting.
We're just doing the thing.
Keanu Reeves. So Malkovich is the son.
Mm-hmm.
Or the father. Sorry, the father. Keanu Reeves is the son, and Nick Cage is the Holy Ghost.
Just the straight up the Holy Ghost. Yep.
How you doing?
I'm all right. It's going to be a busy week, and it's going to be a fun weekend. You're going to be gone, and I'm going to be in your house partying the way it was meant to be partied.
Yes, yes, you are. Gonna be watching stuff on the big screen.
You're damn right.
Yeah, but
I got a new phone, and I'm trying to figure out what the hell's going on with it.
Yeah,
but
there you go.
Yeah. Other than that, just out here vibing.
Just vibing. Speaking of the big screen, what movies did you watch this past week that you wish you watched on my big screen?
Joke's on you. Didn't watch any single movies other than Jurassic World and Hustle.
Yeah.
Which we have reviews for up on the tubes. But I did watch some series. I didn't get to finish them because they are not completely finished, but I finally decided to start watching Obi-Wan Kenobi, which is a series that everyone has been asking me if I have watched yet, and I'm like, no, I don't I'll be honest, I don't care about it. But people keep asking me about it, so I'm finally watching it, and it is just severely okay so far. It's just just another Disney television series, and doesn't blow you away in any single reality at all. That's just me, though. But one that does blow me away is the other series that I started watching. Literally at like midnight, I started watching it, and I finished it at 4 a.m. It was a very bad decision on my part, but I started watching the new season of The Boys, and God, it really just kind of rejuvenates everything that all the fatigue from DC and Marvel that I've been getting, and just kind of rejuvenates it to like this fresh new of just a show with risks and shit.
Yeah.
It's just very nice to have, and I'm really enjoying it so far. Yeah. I don't know how many episodes there are, but I just knocked out 4 of them, and I know you have started watching it.
Yeah, I started watching it. I would agree. My biggest problem with superhero movies is that there's little to no risk.
Yeah.
You go in, for the most part, knowing everyone's going to be good or alive at the end, or knowing that the people they kill off are a long time coming, and it's not surprising or sad or anything, because it's just like, this should have happened 5 movies ago to make it really impactful. But I've watched 3 episodes of season 1 of The Boys, and I agree. I think it's a breath of fresh air for the genre. Granted, it's kind of a anti-superhero movie. It's not a parody or satire, but it is kind of shedding light on how fucked up having superheroes would be, which I like.
Yep, absolutely.
So, yeah, it's a good thing, and how immediately they would be corporatized.
Yep,
that's like I knew that they were all kind of shitty people, but I didn't know going in that they would be corporatized. And then, like, as soon as it started, I was like, oh, that makes sense. Yeah, that's why they're shitty, because they're corporatized.
Yeah.
But yeah, corporations ruin everything.
It just makes so much sense, and it's like Idiocracy meets Marvel or DC.
But I haven't gotten too far in it. I've been watching things that I need to watch for certain series that I'm doing. But I watched 10 movies in total last week. I bet you could probably guess the first one.
I'll be honest, I already forget. Is it Hustle? It can't be Hustle. There's no way.
No, just take a guess. What's a movie that I like and have rewatched?
Is it by chance Everything Everywhere All at Once?
It is.
I would have never guessed.
Yes, I watched it for the 7th time in theaters, all in theaters. Still ugly cry, so still happening. I don't know what is happening to me.
That means you're becoming human. It's great for you.
Yeah, it is it is more manageable than it was. The second time was the worst. The second time I watched it was the worst because I was alone and not trying to. I mean, I've been alone for all but 2 of them. One with you and then one with my family. But the second one I was a hot mess, and then it's been getting less and less each time. But it's still a thing, which is just for me shocking, honestly.
Yeah.
So yeah, love that movie. Continue to watch it. Everyone should watch it. If you haven't watched it, why the hell not? Go watch it. It is now available to buy, unfortunately, digitally. You can't rent it yet, but you should buy it. It's worth the $20 in my opinion.
100%.
But yeah, then I watched Hustle, which we have a review for on our YouTubes, and same with Jurassic World Dominion. I watched those not back to back, but within the same 24-hour period. Then, because I'm going to be away for Father's Day, we established this last Father's Day. The kind of father I'm going to be is on Father's Day, I want to be left the hell alone.
Absolutely.
So that is my thing. But because we're going to be at the beach with family on Father's Day, I will not be able to be left the hell alone. So Caitlin let me have my Father's Day alone time this past Saturday. I went to.
It's very kind of her.
I went to a Regal Warrington. Took a little bit of a hike. Didn't need to, but I wanted to for the second movie I watched. Not the movie, but the experience. You'll hear in a bit. The first movie I watched is David Cronenberg's Crimes of the Future with Viggo Mortensen, Léa Seydoux, Kristen Stewart's in there, Scott Speedman's in there. It is a Cronenberg movie through and through. For those of you who are not familiar with Cronenberg, he does a lot of body horror stuff. And just a combination of violence and sex. He's the kind of director where you're either going to like him or hate him. Yeah. You're not going to be like, I could take him or leave him. You're going to feel strongly either way.
See, I'm okay with never seeing a movie from him again.
Yeah, and I like Cronenberg a lot. That's not to say you're going to love every single one of his movies, but you'll at least appreciate his style. This is essentially a world where humans have evolved to the point where they no longer feel pain very easily. So the best way for them to feel anything is to have surgeries of organs that they are not needed. Like their body's constantly evolving and they're constantly fighting the evolution of their bodies. And so they have surgeries, which are kind of like the new sex. That's where the sex and violence comes in. Very interesting movie. It's not going to be for everyone. When the movie started, there were 8 people in the auditorium, including me. When the movie ended, there was 1 person, including me.
Oh my goodness!
So the worst one was people just tapered out throughout, but the last 2 people to leave were sitting like pretty close to me, and they left. That's something that wasn't even that bad, but I guess it was just the straw that broke the camel's back.
Their final straw.
But then, like, the movie ended 3 minutes later, so it's like, well, you couldn't just wait around. But yeah, so that's Crimes of the Future. Then the reason I went to Regal Warrington, which is about a 45-minute drive from my house, I saw Top Gun Maverick in a format called Screen X, which is essentially they project images, like they extend the image from the main screen. And this is shot during the movie. It's not like something that's just added at CGI or they stretch the image or something and it looks like shit. It's something that like the filmmakers actually do where they have 2 more cameras shooting next to the main frame, and then those 2 cameras are projected on the left and right walls. So it kind of just immerses you even more than just a big screen.
It's like surround sound, but so much more.
Yeah, it was cool. I mean, it's not terribly overpriced. I think it's like, I mean, I have unlimited and I had to pay $4 extra, which is less than what I have to pay for IMAX upcharge. It was fine. Like, I think it's interesting. There is a bunch of kids in the theater that really liked it, and it was just nice seeing, people take their kids out to movies and have pass on the whole movie theaters are the best way to watch shit kind of thing.
They absolutely are.
So yeah, it was a cool experience just seeing them enjoy that. Then I watched a 4-hour documentary on World War II, specifically the occupation of France by the Nazi parties. 4-hour documentary for the 1001 movies you must see before you die. Watched it over 2 days, one half one day, second half the other day. It's a really good documentary. It's kind of the movie. You have to be in the mood for that kind of movie to watch it. It's not something you could just turn on, especially because it's 4 hours. I wasn't in the mood either time, but I tried to force myself to be in the mood because I have to for this series I'm doing. But it's very good. It's just 4 hours long. I don't know if it needed 4 hours, but it is still a pretty good documentary. Yeah. But that's called The Sorrow and the Pity. I don't know if I even said the name. It's a French documentary, The Sorrow and the Pity. I
don't remember, to be honest.
Yeah, well, it's called The Sorrow and the Pity.
Bada bing.
Yeah. Then with my baby child, I rewatched The Incredibles, the Pixar movie from 2004.
Of course.
And then because he's obsessed with Encanto, and it's the easiest way to get him to be quiet, we rewatched Encanto. Then I rewatched Constantine, which we'll get into in a minute. And then today, this afternoon, for the 1001 movies you must see before you die, I watched Les Treux, or Les Treux. I don't know how to French pronounce it, but it's French for the whole. It's essentially a prison break movie. But it's really good. You can find out more information about how I feel about it in July when I release that episode for the Cinema Bucket List. Soon. Yes, but that does it for me. Let's get into Constantine.
Mr. Constantine, I'd like to ask you a few questions. I know the circles you travel in, the occult, exorcisms.
Easy there, hero. That's Dragon's Breath.
I thought you couldn't get it anymore.
Oh, I know a guy who knows a guy.
I thought that you could at least point me in the right direction.
Yeah, okay, sure.
Please.
Supernatural exorcist and demonologist John Constantine helps a policewoman prove her sister's death was not a suicide, but something more.
Ooh. Directed by Francis Lawrence. It is based on the comic book Hellblazer by Jamie Delano and Garth Ennis. And the story is written by Kevin Broadbent. Got to expand this because there's too many people. And then the screenplay is Kevin Broadbent and Frank A. Capello or Acapella. I like to call him Acapella, but I don't know him personally.
It's a little fancier.
Yeah. Starring Keanu Reeves, Rachel Weisz, Shia LaBeouf, Jimon Hansu, Pruitt, Taylor Vince is in there, Tilda Swinton's in there, Peter Stormare's in there. Quite a few people in there, and this was streaming roulette, of course, hence why we were splitting the announcing-ness of it.
Yes.
That's a sentence. And this is probably it's the last that I can think of like the super emo kind of dark hero movies from the early 2000s. Kind of like The Matrix, but not as much. The Equilibrium, where at some point they're going into a club and there's going to be a rave going on. That happened in this. But yeah, this is based on a comic book that everyone loves. Everyone's begging for a sequel, and we might get one, we might not. But I know you like this movie a lot.
I do like this movie a lot. So this right here is just a classic in my books. Like it's up there with, like, for me, Van Helsing and just a couple other ones. But like this is like one of those ones where you go back and rewatch it every couple of years. I actually just rewatched it earlier this year. as like it's a little bedtime story, like a little sleepy movie for me.
Yeah.
It's just so fun and just so 2005 or whatever it was. Yeah, 2005.
Yeah.
And it just really hits home and just how goofy and fun it was. I think I can attest to this, that I love Keanu Reeves. And to me, this is one of peak Keanu movies besides like John Wick or obviously The Matrix.
Yeah.
Like this is like what made me super just happy that Keanu Reeves existed. And I know a lot of people had the biggest crush on Rachel Weisz in like The Mummy. This was my Rachel Weisz crush movie.
I mean, they both were for me. Rachel Weisz was one of my biggest crushes. Actually, one of the notes I wrote, I wish someone would look at me the way Rachel Weisz looks at everyone.
Literally
I just
everyone.
want Rachel Weisz to look at me. Please look at me, Rachel Weisz.
Please, dear God, look at me.
No, I had a huge crush on Rachel Weisz growing up. Still kind of have a crush on her. She still looks great. Not that that's everything, but she does. In The Favorite, the movie The Favorite, she looks incredible. We're getting slightly misogynist here, so I'm going to stop while I'm ahead. But
And she's super talented.
She's super talented, incredibly intelligent, funny. She's really funny. She's got a lot of funny bits in The Mummy. She's just look at me, Rachel Weisz, please.
Yeah, this movie is just like, it's everything you really expect from like a B movie, really, and just comic book at the time movie. But like this one kind of stands on its own compared to everything else. You know, I mean, when did Watchmen come out? That was much later, but like
Watchmen was 2009, I want to say.
yeah. Like this stands out there away from, you know, all the other DC comic movies or anything like that. It's such a good standalone film. It's very slightly tied to Hellboy with the what the fuck, the Spear of Destiny. But that's really the only real connection they really have with it. That's fun. But it's such a fun little thing. It's just like, hey, this is DC, but it's kind of DC.
Yeah. It's kind of fun seeing Keanu Reeves play an asshole for once.
Oh, 100%.
Like, he's usually like a perfect person, and I would do anything for him. And I would still do anything for him in this movie. But he's got like an edge to him. He's rude to people, and it's just something you don't really see from him. I love that he calls demons he's exorcising assholes. It's hilarious. And then, of course, Shia LaBeouf has to ruin it by repeating it, and it's just not as cute or funny. But yeah. I really love Keanu Reeves. This is the main reason why I like this movie. I don't like it as much as you. I think it's just not my style. You know, I'm
Understandable.
more of a I don't want to say realist, but like I like more down to earth kind of movies. That's just my thing. But I did really enjoy this. I think it has fun with itself. It's not taking itself too seriously. Relatively good effects for the time. I don't want to say they're great, but you know, for 2005, it's probably just below Avengers status. But that's only because Marvel always goes soft on their special effects. They could do better if they wanted to, but they don't. But yeah, I had a lot of fun with this, and I think it's you know, it's weird for me watching religious things being a pastor's kid, just because it's just like, it's either completely wrong. I wasn't paying too much to the religion aspect of this, but it's just like, I don't know.
Especially since it's based off a comic book more than religion itself.
The thing that I think a lot of people don't get is the whole idea that if you commit suicide, you're immediately going to hell. There is no chance otherwise. That is 100% a Catholic thing.
Yeah.
No other sect of Christianity believes that. It's just Catholicism. But they make it seem like all Christians believe that.
Well, it's also, it's not just like, you know, if you commit suicide, you're going straight to hell. If like you're like mentally unstable, like it's not seen as like as such a you're going straight to hell type thing as well.
Yeah.
So it's, it is, but it isn't.
Yeah.
Like it's I guess suicide is, what is the thing? It's like suicide's considered evidence of mental illness. So I don't know. I wouldn't know. I'm not very religious, but
No, well, I mean, that whole aspect was just completely wrong. The reason that you go to hell if you commit suicide in Catholicism is because you're dead and can't ask for forgiveness. But the whole idea of Christianity is that there's an afterlife. So who's to say you can't ask for forgiveness after you die?
Yeah.
Like, that kind of defeats the whole purpose. I don't know, Catholicism is just filled with people who just... I'm talking about the leaders, not the people that believe it. It's very convenient, the rules that Catholicism has that kind of keeps people stuck within the church. And then also, because you can't use condoms, pumps more people into the church. If you look into Catholicism and, early Christianity, it's all a money-making scheme that unfortunately has not gone away, except for like churches that have broken off. But anyway, this is not a religion podcast.
no.
I'm going to lighten the mood here with my favorite line of the movie is when Balthazar smells Keanu Reeves and goes, "Fresh meat, finger licking good." Like, the fuck is that line?
Yeah, Balthasar was a freak, man.
Yeah, he was.
He was ready to tear it up.
He was just constantly erect. It was very awkward for everyone. Especially when
it kind of blows my mind that was Gavin Rossdale.
I don't even know who he is. I've never...
He's the lead singer of Bush.
Oh, I mean, that is surprising, yeah.
Glycerine! It's a terrible Gavin Rossdale impression.
That was pretty bad.
But like, what was... reading the trivia during this movie, because like I've seen it dozens of times, but like reading the trivia for this, it had a lot of interesting stuff in it, like how Peter Stormare was actually, he auditioned for the role of Balthasar and ended up getting Lucifer.
I mean, Balthazar has a bigger role in this movie.
Yeah.
But not within the universe, just within this movie.
Yeah. And then Peter Stormare actually kind of had the final say of like how his costume design was going to look for Lucifer, because they were going to do like a just like black and leather, and they were going to do like a collar with spikes on it and just look really fucking weird,
like Hot Topic.
Yeah, Hot Topic-y, and he was going to have tattoos all over him and stuff like that. But they ended up going with the white suit and tar dripping down his feet and legs. Yeah. Which was a much cooler
It's a
aspect.
striking design. It's not something we've seen before.
Especially for
portrayed as Satan.
So that was really cool to read. There was a lot of interesting facts in there that I'd never really known about before. Like what I said earlier about the Hellboy, thing. Or at least the prop was used in Hellboy. I don't know if they're actually connected in any way.
Well, I mean, the Spear of Destiny is actually a thing within Christianity. It's not something that like DC made up, but if they're both DC, then it probably is connected in that way. So I don't know. Are they both DC?
Well, that is. I wish I could tell you yes, but I can also tell you no. Let me look it up real quick.
Okay. I'm confused already.
I don't think it's directly DC.
Is it like Dark Horse or whatever, one of their subsidiaries?
Something like that. But I don't think it's...
Just if anyone's being like, oh, it's not Dark Horse. I don't know. Dark Horse was the only one I could think of.
It's just a guess. Hellboy.
While you're looking that up, the funny thing, when in the beginning when he's performing the first exorcism and he goes, "My name's John Constantine," asshole. I'm like, I feel like he's been called John a lot in movies, Keanu Reeves. And I went back and looked. He has played a version of a John, whether it be John, Johnny. I even threw Jack in there. He's only Jack once, but Jack is technically a shorter name of John. Yeah. He's been a version of John 11 times in his career. Yeah,
no, it's kind of wild how often he plays a John.
Yeah.
it's Johnny Utah.
Johnny
There's so
Utah,
many-
John Wick. Also, I could be wrong, but I don't think I counted sequels.
Yeah.
So I don't think I counted Speed 2 or any of the John Wick sequels. I could be wrong. Johnny Silverhand in Cyberpunk.
Yep.
John Wick, of course. Let's see. John Wick.
Man's just a John.
He is a John. A lot of them are just in Generation. He plays just John. John Constantine, of course. Johnny Mnemonic, Johnny Utah. But yeah, anyway, that's enough Johns for that. There's a weird Jax that's spelled JJAKS.
That is pretty weird.
I don't know if we want to count that. Probably not. But then he plays a Don John in Much Ado About Nothing.
As far as it looked, it is pretty much a DC comic.
Okay.
At the extent of it. But yeah. Just it's just a super fun movie. It's definitely super fun to read about. I wish Shia LaBeouf was just a little bit older in this movie.
Yeah.
Like just a little bit older version of himself in this.
Yeah.
Not that he could have helped that in any way, but I know he got some good graces from Will Smith and got like a tip to one of the producers in this film that he should be in it, and then bada bing bada boom, he got in it.
And pushed him into a bunch of movies like the Transformers movies that he hated being in. So.
I know what the fuck was I about to say? This movie was actually going to be a different director, and it was going to be Nick Cage. And
Nick
honestly,
Cage was going to direct it?
yeah, no, Nick Cage was going to be
He was going to be
John
Constantine.
Constantine. I would have hated this movie. I can almost guarantee they would have been a night and day. Like I think it would have been funny, and it would have been a Nick Cage like thing.
Yeah.
But if it had the director that was going to have and Nick Cage as Constantine, I think this would have been an entirely different scenario altogether.
For sure. I think that this movie is... Again, I don't think it's a great movie. It's a fun movie. It's fine. It doesn't take itself seriously. But I think it is a perfect storm of... Not storm. Storm's the wrong word. It's a perfect combination of mediocre talent making something entertaining. Again, I feel bad saying mediocre talent, but like nothing about this movie wowed me, except for Peter Stormare. But that's just Peter Stormare wows me in everything he's in. I love Peter Stormare, but it's a like everyone in it just came to play. They did well. They did their role, and it's got really cool designs, which I really like Gabriel. Played by Tilda Swinton, the androgynous design of her or them. I don't know what Gabriel's pronouns are.
I was gonna say, I think Gabriel's usually a dude, and then in this,
I think in this it's just androgynous, but it was just a cool design, perfectly called by Peter Stormare to go with a white suit and like the black tar feet and everything. It was. Because if it was just a Hot Topic thing, it would have been laughable.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just it's a fun movie, and that's really all you can ask from a movie about a guy who was resurrected after committing suicide and then now is a demonologist.
Yep.
Weird concept, but I'm for it.
Such a concept.
Yeah.
There's for a long time after this movie, I really wanted to just have his outfit, John Constantine's, just the loose tie and the black pants, the white long sleeve, and just
the Reservoir Dogs
look.
look.
Yep, and just the pea coat, little
Except
pea
for
coat.
the pea coat's different,
But yeah, for a long time that was like what I wanted to wear. And now, as I'm older, I'm like, I don't even want to fucking put a tie on.
People would have called you Edgelord.
Yeah, they would have been like, I would have wore a fedora just to spite them.
My
and
lady.
my lady. There's also a little glimpse at is it Monaghan? Michelle Monaghan at the end of the movie, like she's in like the pool of demons, like all those idol people.
Michelle Monaghan is in this?
Yeah, she uncredited. She's one of those like standing people at the end.
Wow.
And I looked at her, I'm like, is that Michelle? And it was. She's uncredited as Ellie.
Oh, she
so
must
that
have been
was-
a cut scene or something.
I don't know, but it was a quick catch. I saw. I was like, oh shit. And it was. I guess this movie was pretty early in her career. Like her first movie was, at least credit, was a Young Americans TV series in 2000, and then boom, Constantine. She was in Born Supremacy and
She's
Winter
another
Solstice.
person I would like to just look at me any way she wishes. Could be in disgust. I don't care. Just look at me.
Just stare at me for once and just.
I don't
hate
get
me.
enough eye contact in my life. That's what I've figured out. That's mostly my
The
fault.
next
but
time I see you, I'll just stare at you. Don't worry.
please don't. Eye contact makes me feel very uncomfortable. But I also like it when the time is right. But it's just that's a little too much information about me. Anyway, Constantine. Cut that.
Constantine. I don't have too much more I have to say. I feel like I'd just be, tugging the ween at this point on the movie, but it's a saying, isn't it?
I've never heard it.
It's because I
I'm
just
sure
made
it
it
is.
up.
Yeah,
But,
but I'm the same.
Yeah, any further, I'd just be going further and further about how much I enjoy the movie,
Yeah.
which I don't need to keep doing.
No, you don't. So that brings us to the judgment for Constantine. As always, it needs to be a unanimous decision whether or not it goes on the KFR shelf with Alexa of Apostle and Handmaiden. Glenn, I'm going to make you go first because I'm on the fence. I'm pretty sure I know your answer.
Yeah.
But I want to make sure before I say anything. So what do you think? Does it become a little shelf boy with its pants hiked up high?
I think it becomes a little shelf boy, mainly because there's not too many of these like movies that you really, at least like these standalones, that you really do kind of wish that it got a sequel. It's just one of those ones that you're like, damn, I would love to see, Shia LaBeouf at the end credit scene, but here now, it like made in 2025. 20 years later, we get a Constantine movie of just Shia LaBeouf screaming "Do it" to John Constantine when he's about to kill a demon or something like that. I think it would be really cool. I think Keanu has said that he's stated that he's wanted to do it again, but I would love to see it on the shelf, but it might not because I don't think you want it on the shelf. I must say.
I don't hate it enough to say no to putting on the shelf. Like, yeah, I'm fine with it. I like Rachel Weisz.
Hell yeah.
I like Keanu. I like Michelle Moynihan, and I mean she's barely in it, but I like Peter Stormare. There's enough there that I like. I'm not gonna lie and say it's a great movie in my opinion.
Yeah.
But it's fine. It's fun. I think a lot of people would enjoy this a lot more than me, so I am gonna say it goes on the shelf.
Yes. It's not one of those. It's not. You know me. I don't put movies on that I've seen before very often. And this is one of those ones that I'll usually go back to, and I'm like, you're not gonna watch Constantine again.
Yeah.
So that's a huge plus-a-rooney in my book.
Yeah. So, Constantine does go onto the KFR shelf with the likes of Apostle and Handmaiden. That brings us to our assignment for next week. I'm going to pull a little Glenjamin button, and I am going to give you prompts here. And you are going to tell me which of these you want. I'm going to go a little D&D with it, so excuse me. But we have 4 movies to choose from.
Oh, wow.
We have lawful good. We have chaotic good. We have neutral evil. I don't know. I'm not good. Let's just say not evil. Let's just say neutral bad. We're gonna change it a little bit.
Yeah.
Neutral bad, and then we have lawful neutral. So which of those do you want?
I'm aiming chaotic good.
Chaotic good.
Oh, yeah.
Is that your final answer?
I feel like it's an answer that could be final.
Okay. So that means that our assignment for next week is a movie that I have seen, but I know for a fact you have not seen it. It is an underappreciated movie, in my opinion, and it is called SLC Punk. Have you heard of this?
Lillard. I don't think I have.
Okay.
It doesn't look familiar, at least.
Yes. So in the early 1980s, Steve-O and Heroin Bob are the only 2 dedicated punks in the conservative Salt Lake City. It is written and directed by James Marandino, starring Matthew Lillard, Michael A. Gorgian, Annabeth Gish, Jennifer Lean, Christopher McDonald's in there, Devin Sawa, Jason Segel's in there for a minute. I don't think he's in it that much, but he's definitely in it. Adam Pascal's in it. Who's that one guy? One of the people from Inglourious Basterds, one of the German. Oh, that's Till Schweiger. He's in. He says, "Say Auf Wiedersehen to your Nazi balls" in Inglourious Bastard. he's in this movie as well. So that is SLC Punk, and that's going to be available on HBO Max. I'm very interested in what you have to say about this one. So
we're on a little Lillard kick this year.
We
It's
are.
pretty-
Yeah, we
it's
are.
It's pretty great.
Although I think you will agree, this one is better.
Probably much
than
better.
Hackers.
Meet Steve-O and Bob. They were the only two punks living in Salt Lake City.
Ooh, we come from the east.
What the hell are you?
We're from England.
England.
That's probably why we seem so weird to you, man.
Their only way to understand the world was to be totally misunderstood. And when you're living in the most conservative city in America, do you A, conform,
This rebellion thing you're going through, I understand it, not completely, but I respect it.
B, learn to cope,
I am the future. I am the future of this great nation.
Steven, I didn't sell out, son. I bought in.
or C,
Is he gonna be okay?
Oh, yeah, he'll be fine, I'm sure. Thank you, though.
none of the above?
SLC Punk is our assignment for next week. Thank you, everyone, for listening. As always, you can check out our website, www.keystonefilmreview.com, on Instagram, where you're Keystone_film_review, Twitter, Keystone_film, Facebook, Keystone Film Review, TikTok, Keystone Film Review, YouTube, Keystone Film Review. I mumbled that, but you get it. It's Keystone Film Review and stuff. And on Letterboxd, I'm Mike KFR.
And I am Glenn KFR.
And that will do it until next week when we get a little anarchy in Salt Lake City with the not Jehovah's Witnesses, Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day, the Mormons.
Them
The Mormons
boys.
are coming. Anyway, the Mormons don't really have anything to do with this movie. It just takes place in Salt Lake City where Mormons are very present. SLC Punk. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.